guys. Okay, I'm gonna show you the straight line technique that is so great for hooded eyes, and especially for you girls that are having a hard time putting that color on the outer V. A lot of you are saying that it kind of just looks like a big blob, so I'm gonna help you with that. When you blend your eyeshadow in a back and forth motion, kind of like the rainbow motion, it almost makes it look like your eyes drag down even more. So this is gonna help so much, this technique. Okay, the first step is to find the highest point of your eyelid. And you're gonna look straight into the mirror, and right above your hoods is where you're gonna mark a dot. It is so important to make sure that you do this above your hoods so that it doesn't sink back into your crease. I'm giving you an example for me where I would mark it, just with kind of like your transition color. Make sure that it's above the hood. That's so important. Make sure it's above the hood. Okay, that's perfect. Now, I forgot, but eye primer should always be first, you guys. If you have hooded eyes, you've got to use eye primer. That way it doesn't crease and your eyeshadow stays on all day long. Then we're gonna set the eye primer with a bone color eyeshadow. It's gonna do two things. It's gonna set the eye primer, but it's also going to disappear all of that veininess in my eyelids, giving me a great base to start out with. Okay, you can still see the dots that we made to give us a guide and a good starting point with. Now, if you're a beginner, this is another great tip. Fold up a tissue and you're gonna use it as a guide, kind of like I'm gonna show you throughout this tutorial, but you don't have to use it, but you can if you want. It helps a lot. I love this palette because there's so many different looks and ways that you can use these colors, and it's so good for hooded eyes. So we're gonna start on this one eye, we're gonna do the pinks. And we're always typically gonna start with the lightest color. So look at that dot and then go down below. Straight down from that dot, you're gonna start blending from that lower lash line all the way to the tail of your brow. You can either do it freehand like I did just a second ago, or you can use this guide like I'm using here, and it's gonna help give you a guide to know exactly where to put it, but it's also gonna help catch any fallout too. See how that alone already lifts my hood? Even though it still needs to be blended out, it still works. Okay, so now using that dot as a guide and the lower lash line shadow, we're basically gonna play paint by numbers. And using the crease brush or the fluffy crease brush, we're gonna take one of the lighter colors in the palette again, and we are just gonna connect them. I will say it's important at this point to make sure that you just go straight across. Back and forth, straight across. One of my favorite parts about this technique is that it really just promotes a lifted eye and really helps your hooded eyes to look less hooded and really assures that you've got the colors in the right spots and that it's the proper shape as well. Now you can take the blending brush with the lighter color too and just kind of blend up and out, make sure that there's no harsh lines and that it's faded as it goes towards your brow. You can also take the darker color right here and again, kind of paint by numbers, just right in the corner, deepen up that outer corner for more of a lifted eye. I've been sleeping through the long night. I've been shining in the sunlight. I've been thinking how I'm alright. Now from the hooded brush bundle, we're going to take the flat brush that's always great for the lid. You can either do a shimmer or a matte light color. We're going to do a shimmer on this side, and basically what this is going to do is it's going to make the lid pop. One thing that happens when we have hooded eyes is that lid just sinks down underneath the hoods and you cannot see it. So that's why a light color and even a shimmer is great for the lid to make it pop. And don't forget to highlight the tail end of your brow to also make that brow look more lifted. Tight lining is so key for hooded eyes, so we're going to tight line the black on the top waterline and white on the bottom. Always curl your lashes, especially if you have hooded eyes, and then let's throw on some mascara, focusing on the outer thirds. What we're going to do is we're really going to build up the outer thirds of the lashes. That really also helps to promote a lift to the outer portion of your eyes, which also makes your eyes to look less hooded. So now I'm just going to take a little bit more of that light color and I'm just going to throw it on the outer thirds of my lower lash line. And now on this side, I'm basically just going to do the exact same thing, but with browns, a lighter brown and a darker brown. On the other side, I did a lighter pink and a darker pink or burgundy, and on this side, I'm going to do the browns using the exact same technique. And so I'm just going to speed it up so you can watch me do it. Don't you leave before I Okay, so on this side, we're just changing it up just a little bit, and I'm using a matte light color. On the other side, I did a light shimmer color, but on this side, I'm using a matte color. The only difference is there's no shimmer, but it's still gonna make the eye pop, but I wanted to kind of show you the two different options that you have. If you don't love shimmers, you can totally just do a matte color as well. Anytime you feel like you need to blend it out anymore, just use your blending brush, and that's gonna be your best friend. Okay, mascara done, and you can see how much it lifts the eye. You guys, I'm obsessed with this technique. You can see the difference between the brown and the burgundies, whichever you love. I also love the palette because you can do both, and the whole technique still works. Doesn't really matter what color you're using, as long as you're using the right shades of color in the proper places. And as you can see here, I'm just doing a few touch-ups. I'm dying to know, which do you like best, the brown side or the pink side? And if you're interested in the products that I use today, say line in the comments and you'll get some information about them. Don't forget to follow me for more hooded eye tips and tricks, and I will see you guys on the next video.